Hello everybody, my name is Tim, this is Darth Vader, and I thought I'd just like to provide a few, oh hey yeah, oh yeah, that's my dog. I'd like to provide a few thoughts I've had since playing and completing Fallout 4 on Survivor difficulty. Now, overall, I'm quite happy with the way the game turned out. Um, the the several different skill levels on there do provide quite a nice difficulty curve if you start from the bottom and then work your way up. And having the survivor difficulty in there, it started off feeling really like a struggle to play and survive, really. But the later on you got in it, the more gear you had, the higher level stuff you'd obtained, it kind of got to the point where it wasn't that difficult to survive against the kind of the generic monsters and raiders and everything out in the wasteland. Some stuff would still wreck your face really, really hard, like blood bugs, because they are vicious bastards. But when it came to raiders, it was like, oh, I don't need to worry about these. I'll massacre them without any kind of issue at all. And the addition of a few perks on there meant that the downside of survivor difficulty, with the increased damage everyone's doing to you and the slow healing, they could kind of be mitigated somewhat by the plus 50 damage resistance, and you auto heal when you're not in combat, and potentially the radiation as well. Just kind of radiation just gets reduced. That was perfectly fine. But yeah, I mean, it kind of ties into a problem I've seen with the scaling of the game. It seemed when I was playing through it, the first half of the game, the missions you went on were relatively easy. Everything was kind of around your level to beat down on. And you didn't really have much of a problem when it came to fighting if you played it smart. But kind of the later parts, just in my entry when I ran through via the taking on the Institute, while I could kill everyone inside the Institute on the initial stage, that wasn't too difficult, so long as I used tactics sensibly, remain hidden as much, let people run away, snipe them, go to hiding again, and just relied on dumb luck if they just mobbed me and a gun. In terms of actually the later mission, when you actually went into the Institute again, it was like, oh my god, this is so much harder, and I've actually got backup as well, and I am literally getting torn apart here in like a daily basis. It's just getting wrecked. And a lot of the side areas are really hugely super leveled. Considering I went to Longneck Lukowski's cannery quite early on, because I was wandering through Concord over here, and stumbled across a settler who went, "Hey, you might want to go and check out the cannery. It's really shit meat. Don't know what's going on in there." Which is kind of ironic, really, because it was a ghoul eating ghouls, and ghouls will generally eat anything, as far as I'm aware. So it's kind of amusing to me at that point. But still, it's the matter that you kind of went in there on survivor difficulty, and you have to take on like 3 legendaries in there. I know the whole point of Survivor is, well, I say the whole point, one of the points of Survivor is that you've got a significantly increased chance of running across legendary enemies. But, I mean, those were... They felt like ghouls that were leveled above me and legendaries in there as well. So it's kind of like saying... It kind of felt like the game was saying, don't deviate, you know, go down the normal path, go down the story arc path. Once you've done enough of that and, you know, you're getting towards the end, then you can go and start deviating around everywhere else and start mucking around to your heart's content. Because otherwise, you literally sort of stumble into an area. Oh, you know, this is interesting. I'll just go and explore off the beaten track. Oh shit, my head's been done in. And literally, like Bukowski's Cannery, if you go down to the bottom there, and you've got all those ghouls, it's like shit. I cannot actually beat these ghouls because I don't have the gear for it, or the stats, and I can't get away. You know, you're stuck there. Like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to reload an earlier save of the game because I can't actually get out of the situation I've gotten myself into. So yeah, that's kind of the difficulty of it. The other big things that have been talked about the game are the follower system and the settlement building. I never really had a problem with the follower system, but you know, then I didn't really use it. You are supposed to be able to say, you know, have conversations with your followers, send them to places, tell them to go and do stuff. I did find it useful after a while when I was doing stuff off camera and I was getting the followers who were wandering around with me to go and raid corpses, so they can, you know, I had everything I need, so it was like, you go there, raid corpses, take whatever you need. And they would do that. They'd run off, take a gun, take some ammo, take some armour. Although again, I think the AI was a bit iffy on that, because I had guys who would just like strip everything off of someone, and then the next one they'd strip everything off, in armour and all, and they wouldn't equip the armour because they have to wait for you to equip the armour. They'd use a gun, yes, but the armour, no, you have to wait for you to tell them to wear it. So I can kind of see two sides of that. It's a bit of a flaw from the side of, you know, you want to kind of control what your allies are using, but at the same time, it's kind of annoying that they don't have that level of control themselves to be able to decide, hey, you know, this armour that I've got on is better than, you know, it's not as good as the armour over here. That's the place where I've got the original quest to go find the cannery farm over there. And yes, it's like, they're wearing armour, okay. The armour you give them, like the thin armour, because most, as far as I'm aware, most followers don't come with anything other than thick armour. So the thin armour will be worse than their thick armour, so I'm assuming they wouldn't automatically wear it. But then if they've got all the extra armour plating on as well, they would need to be able to equip that in order to raise it. So I don't know. I'm no AI expert. I don't know how programming works, but it does seem that they kind of missed a trick there with saying, you know, make sure the followers can equip armour that they need. If it's not going to be any good for them, they just won't equip it. And the relationship system's not bad. Again, I've had a few flaws with it. Man, it's getting quite dark, isn't it, out there? I have found with Hancock specifically, it's really easy to farm relationship with him. You just go around naked, and that's it. You know, your relationship goes through the roof. Other ones it's a lot harder to gain relationship points with because it relies on specific actions or specific words being said. You don't go and kill people, or you do go and steal. With him, it's just like just go around naked and you're fine, and it's sorted. And this again, it's kind of something that I heard more than anything else. It didn't have a big impact on me, but one of the YouTubers I watch or used to watch when she actually put stuff on YouTube, Zoe Prosek from the Ogscast, she put up something on there saying that although it's nice that you can choose if you can choose the sexuality you want your character to have, but you can only choose it after the game has actually started. You are forced into a heterosexual relationship at the very start of the game, because you're either a husband or a wife with a son. And I suppose from the storytelling point of view, it made sense to say there you are. This is your nuclear family, and all this is going down, and now you've got to go off and find your son, because I don't really think it's spoilers anymore. It's like 3 months now, 4 months coming on since the game was released. I don't think the opening plot is actually much of a spoiler anymore. So yeah, you've kind of got that to do. But to me, she raised the point of saying, well, why didn't... It would have been just as easy to have an option put in to say you want to start off in a homosexual relationship, and they'll just replace the other character with another male or another female, which modders, you might want to get on that, because it could be okay. You'd have to miss out on voice acting, but it would be an interesting thing to do. And yeah, I kind of agree that it's like your character can just like you've just come out of a heterosexual relationship. Your partner has been killed in front of your eyes, and your son kidnapped, and all of a sudden, oh shit, bloke fires. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Alright, you have to sort it out. Come on in. Yeah! Where'd everyone go? Come on, where are you? Is that it? Did the bloke fire buggered off? Oh, fair enough. Right, where was I? Oh yeah, relationships. So, it did strike me as odd when I thought about it, really. As a matter of, here you are, you're coming out of this relationship, you've had your partner's dead, your son is kidnapped, and just kind of on a roll of the dice, you just decide that my sexuality is going to change. There you are. And yes, I know there's people out there who say, yeah, but we follow the we're like pansexual or something like that. It's like alright, yeah, your character could be pansexual, but it's the way it's presented is that you are in a loving heterosexual relationship, and it's like, but what if you don't want that to be your character? It kind of destroys part of the immersion they're trying to build with the role-playing game. So I thought that was quite a good point, and like I say, it's something modders can potentially get onto. I know there's plenty of stuff in there that modders can do. I mean, hell, you can play as a child if you want, which gives a whole new spin on the whole thing of the relationship going on between the main character and their spouse. If one of you is a child, yeah. On the other point then of the crafting, I'm 50-50 on the crafting. I did a lot of it, as you probably saw on the episode where I introduced Fort Sanctuary. I kind of did the best I could with the tools available in order to build a Motte and Bailey style fort. Now, I would have loved to do more, but one, I ran out of space in the settlement, and two, you've only got right angles that you can actually play with. You can't kind of do anything circular. If there's something that's built as a circle, you know, it's a sphere or a cylinder or something, actually as part of a machine you're putting down, then yes, you can, but you can't actually free build anything circular. It has to be kind of a square or a cube or an oblong or something like that. It has to be that. Like this shack is a good example. You know, you got your four sides. That's it. You can't build anything kind of circular. And although you got sort of bits that kind of stick out and expand it a bit, it's still a matter of you can basically only build square things. And there's like no ramps in it. You've only got a very, very limited selection of ladders available. You know, there's just things in there that is like, it could have been improved so much just with the addition of a little few extra things here, like building curved walls. It shouldn't be too hard, surely, to have a section like you can put down the circular floor section and build like semicircular walls around it. It shouldn't be too hard. On there. They're all dead. Good. Oh, put my blade away. Right, so. Yeah, so it was a bit. Yeah, you know. And the whole problem with building on slopes as well. It's really annoying, given that the beautifully crafted landscape you've got here. You know, you've got hills, you've got valleys, you've got little chunks missing out of rock spaces, you've got all these nice rolling areas, and yet you can only build flat. You can't build on a slope without basically turning it into a flat layered system. Now I don't know if that's just down to the way buildings are generally constructed on slopes in America, but over here, if we have a kind of a house on a slope, we're just going to dig into the slope and just stick the house there. We don't kind of build this platform going out in a nice big cube. So that, you know, it may be down to that thing, but it's so annoying when I wanted to build a Bailey, the Motte and Bailey, I wanted to have a nice fence that kind of stretched out around the perimeter of the entirety of Sanctuary, but I couldn't, because in order to do that, I would have to go down and build on multiple layers of a hill, and the only way to do that was to build on one layer. As soon as I've got a part that's raised, then I'd have to put a new foundation down and start building on just this giant just sudden incline, and then carry on across from there, and it just looked horrible. It just looked horrid. So you can't kind of angle what you're doing in terms of fencing, or generators or power lines, like that. You can't actually angle it to the floor. You can just spin it around, and that's it. That's all you can do. So good try, but could be better. Could really be better. And weapon crafting, again, you know, it not bad, not bad. I would have liked the way I thought it was presented, or the way I felt it was presented, which was, you can build pretty much anything you want. You can take a frame, you can stick a plasma charger on, you can take the charger, you can stick a laser charger on, you can put a ballistic system in there. You can do proper modifications to whatever you want. But no, you got a pipe rifle. Alright, that's it. You're stuck with using a pipe frame for it. Sure, you can. It's one of the few weapons you can actually change the chamber of to edit what ammo it fires. But most of the rest of them, that's it. It's like, alright, I got a 10mm pistol. Okay, what if I want to turn that 10mm pistol into a plasma pistol? Take out the ballistic chamber and put in a plasma chamber. Not allowed to do that. Sorry, no. It's not something you can do. So I would really have loved to have seen a system that would have resulted in you actually being able to do that. And you can build any gun. You've got the parts for it. You can build it, and you've got the skills for it as well. That would just made my day with that. But no, and some of the mods you can get are just so limiting. Half the reason I went around with a 10mm so much with Tina was, although I had a 44 handgun, the damage output was higher per shot on the 44. The DPS couldn't be improved. It was just a matter of, the only thing you can do with that chamber is make it more powerful. You can extend the barrel, and you can put a sight on it. And that's it. You just like, what if I want a silenced 44 pistol? Can I have that? No, can't have that. Can't have a silenced 44. You can have a silenced 9mm in like a specialist weapon. But no, not this one. Nope, sorry, you know about it. So while it was a more powerful gun, I just never used it because it was pointless. I might as well just throw it away and use the money to buy more 10mm ammo, because the 10mm had superior DPS, even though the 10mm wasn't as fully upgraded as the 44. 44 at maximum upgrade is not as good as the 10mm at maximum upgrade, and yet it's a more powerful handgun. It's kind of one of those disparities that kind of throws in there. If I could have removed the 44 chamber and stuck a shotgun chamber in there or something like that, or stuck some kind of automatic chamber in or something. I don't know. Something to make it worthwhile to actually have that gun and not just sit with my 10mm and go, well, fuck it, my 10mm's better. It's just flat out better. It's not a situational thing at all. And yeah, I mean, you partially can do some of that. I mean, you can make a sniper shotgun if you want to, but it's not very good because the shotgun shells have a scatter on them. And so there you are, you got your scatter, and although you got a silencer and a scope and an extended barrel, it's not a very long range, and you're just gonna basically just go, well, I might as well just use it as a silenced shotgun without a scope. So why bother sticking a scope on a shotgun when the shells are going to scatter anyway, and it's no point. If you're going to be sniping with it, you're going to want it to be quiet, so you're going to want the silencer on there, or suppressor, or whatever they call it. And it's like, well, again, you can do it, but it's not as good. So you might as well just leave off the scope, just take a standard sight, or not even a sight, just run and gun it, and and not bother with a suppressor on it. You might as well just go in loud and heavy with shotgun with recoil compensator, and that's it. You know, there's no point turning it into a sniper rifle, even though you can. So it's kind of those kinds of things on the crafting system. It's like, you can do it, but is there a point? Is there actually a point to doing it? And the answer generally is no. My sniper rifle that I found and modded up was better than my shotgun at sniping with, which, you know, is hardly surprising. But it was the fact that I could build a sniper shotgun, but it was just been no good. It's like, oh well, but what if I want to do it? It's like, well, you can do it, but it's pointless. It's a waste of materials. Well, if it's going to be a waste, why have it in there? It's kind of, you can, it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of the two thing, isn't it? It's like saying, I want to be able to do anything with the guns, okay, but I want to be able to do things that will improve the gun. So I'd say, yeah, it's a shotgun. Sure, you can mod it up as a sniper rifle, but it'll be shit. 44 pistol, nope, it's staying as a 44 pistol. You can't do squat with it. You can put a scope on it, but again, that's pretty pointless. Alright. So yeah, they could have been so much more done on there. I can only assume that some future DLC may have something to do with that on there, might change it around a bit. But you know, I don't know. I'll just keep an eye and see what's going on. So yeah, that's the crafting. Now let's see, what else did I want to talk about the Fallout 4 system. Settlement building, crafting, relationships, difficulty setting. Yeah, it's fine all that front. Oh yeah, the perks. Now, again, I've seen a couple other videos of people who have done this kind of thing and have said, you know, the perk system could be better, and I agree. The original Fallouts had a very good system for leveling up. You would level up, you would assign points to your stats. Those stats would dictate how good you are at doing things, but every few levels you could get a special skill that would just make you better in a normal guard. It would make, like, you know, you could in Fallout 1 you could have things like you could get a bonus to your hand-to-hand damage. You can attack faster, you can shoot faster, you can take an extra tag skill, so you gain when you put points into it, you gain that level faster. You could increase your intelligence level in dialogue. There's like salesman perk. I love taking salesman perk in Fallout 2 because I could have an intelligence 3 character, but as soon as I started wandering around and got a couple of perks on there, I'd get salesman and I'd effectively be intelligence 5 in conversation, so I could talk like a normal person but save my points and redistribute them out where. In this, the stats you've got don't impact your ability to play, really. It's like, yeah, you've got higher strength, yeah, sure, you know, you're going to be doing more damage in combat. You've got higher agility, yes, you're going to be sneaking better. But because it's so kind of first-person shootery orientated, those kinds of things didn't really have that big of an impact. I mean, I've been running around with luck 1 on both my characters, like luck 1. And what does it mean? What does luck mean in this? It's your critical hits. It's how fast you build critical hits. And if you don't use critical hits, luck becomes pointless. It's just a stat that has no use. And all the perks you get in there are all to do with increasing critical hits. And it's just like, no! This is useless. You're going to want to talk to me in a minute, aren't you? Hang on, let's just have a conversation with you in a moment. And yeah, so you would increase it and you get this. And instead in this, it's like, here's your stat line, okay? And you really kind of feels like you're forced to take specific perks, because without them you're just doing me no good. I mean, if I didn't take stealth and pistoler and sandman, I would not have been so good at taking people out with headshots using 10mm pistol. I would just have been doing so little damage that I would just waste ammo. Because in this game, when you level, all the mobs level with you, but you don't get any bonuses except to your health. So when you level up, you don't do any more damage. You can't you don't get bonuses to anything. It's literally, it's like, oh, here's your health bonus for gaining a level and get a health refill. Now witness people beating you for 10 points more damage than they did before. Like, oh, great. So it's kind of, you get that, and it's like, it's so annoying. There's like so many other things I could have taken. You know, Scrounger is proper. That is actual perk. It's, you know, it's finding more stuff than there would otherwise be around. But Rifleman, Pistoler, Big League, Heavy, stuff like that, it was basically just like, deal 20% more damage with this particular type of gun. It's not an option, it's a necessity. And that kind of feels like you, no matter what kind of play you're doing, you're going to be building the same basic kind of character. You're always going to take a combat perk. You're most likely going to take a defense perk, either toughness or life giver or rad resistant or something like that, so that the dangers of the wasteland don't impact you so much. I mean, if you're going to be going out hunting children of the atom, you're going to want, you're literally going to just take rad resistant perk, because their guns just do rad damage, and if you take that and whack it right up, and you're like, they're doing nothing. But it's that kind of thing. Instead of it being like, you shoot faster, your bullets will go through allies to hit enemies, you won't cause damage to them at all. You don't have those kinds of things on there. It's just like, here's some more damage. You don't take radiation damage from swimming now. It's just, which, again, if you're doing a special run, then that becomes really annoying, because if you're doing a run like I did, like where it doesn't, it's not real, which is like, I cannot use any anti-rad chems, because anti-rad chems, you don't exist. You don't have a kind of a chemical flush that you can stick in your arm that's readily available over the counter, and just flush your body of whatever radiation's affecting it. You don't have that over the counter. And if you're doing like a you only live once, which, I watch Many a True Nerd, and he does things like this. He does like, you only live once. It's like you are expected to take radiation damage in the game. You're expected to take it and then get rid of it. And if you're playing a run that for fun, that prevents you from doing that due to the rule set you've put in, then all of a sudden it just becomes a real chore having to specifically take those perks that knock it out. You go, when you could have other ones in there instead. And so it's like, it's annoying that it's no longer a perk system. It's a, how do you want your character to improve this level? Because it's, you get one perk every level, but it's not a perk, really. I think that's kind of what I'm trying to get. So you get a perk every level, but the perk isn't actually a perk. It's more likely just going to be a boost. To me, if I bring it up. And yeah, I know I'm talking a lot. There we are. So, pickpocket. That's not a perk. That's just a skill increase. Iron Fist, 20% more damage. That's not a perk, that's a skill increase. Toughness, that's a perk, because it's actually giving you something you wouldn't otherwise get through natural skill progression. Cap Collector, that's not a perk, that's just a basically better bartering skill. Vans is totally pointless. The path to your closest quest target is displayed in VATS. Yay, how very, very useful that is. It's why is it even there? You know, it's something that doesn't even need to be there, because all your goals are loaded up in your Pip-Boy, and you select them all, and you just walk to the nearest one, and you go, oh, okay, it's this far away from you, and then when you get close enough, it shows you where to go anyway in order to get there. And it's like, no, it's useless. It is literally useless. Gunslinger, that's small arms. Fortune Finder, you find more bottle caps. Yeah, okay, that's an actual perk, because it's allowing you to do something that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do with stats and skills. It's like basically saying, oh, you know, I'm just finding more. There's just more here to take. Big Leagues, that's melee weapons skill. Rifleman, that's small arms skill. Lead Belly, yeah, that's a perk, because it's, again, there's no skill that allows you to resist radiation, so that would be classed as a perk, as would Black Widow. Medic, that's a skill. Commando, that's a skill, because it's just you do more damage. Scrounger, that's an actual perk. And then you kind of get down to these ones, the crafting ones. They're 50. Again, they're kind of this and that. Yes, they are a perk, but technically they're repair skill. Yeah, it's like, yeah, the better you get, the more you can do. It's basically repair skill. Yeah, that's a perk. That's a perk. That's repair skill. That's sneak skill. That's a perk. You know, that's repair. That's lockpick. That's a perk. That, again, that's a perk, but it's not really one you'd use if you don't use VATS. That's science skill. That's a perk. That's a perk. So you can see, you're kind of just going down here, it's like, these aren't perks. They're just skill bonuses that you would normally acquire, but instead of being able to spread out how you gain your bonuses like you would in the previous versions of the games, and Fallout 1, 2, Tactics, Brotherhood of Steel, 3, New Vegas, instead of spreading out how you go up your character, it's like, here's your character, you have 1 skill point to spend per level. What do you want to spend it on? Do you want to spend it on one of the things you've unlocked, or do you want to spend it on a stat increase that will have almost no impact on your gameplay, but will then allow you to get a slightly better bonus maybe later on down the line? It's just, oh my god, it's no. If someone, again, it's modding community, if the modding community can get together and pull out, you know, change this system so that instead of going down on this, you go back to the old tried and true system of saying, here you are, here's skill points, and those skill points improve it, I think it would make the game so much better. And every third level you get one of the ones that you can choose, one of the ones that is actually a perk. That'd be so much better. It just instantly would perk, because I'm luck 1 in other games would literally, if there's any chance of a positive or negative reaction to what you're saying or doing, it would almost universally be a negative reaction. In this, it's nothing. It's like, oh look, I'm not going to get my critical hits as much. Oh well, you know, I've proved on a survivor difficulty, you don't need critical hits in order to beat the game. You can complete it without using VATs and without using critical hits at all. Luck is almost totally pointless now as a stat of the way the game's been built. But yeah, I think I've rambled on enough about all this. I mean, some of these are good, but it's going, oh, you got Wasteland Whisperer. Oh, you gain a chance to pacify any mutant creature, and that is exactly the same as Animal Friend. It just affects different things. That's it. Yeah. That could be one. That could literally be one perk instead of 6. Instead of 6 perks, 6 skill points, that could literally be 2 or 3. It's like, oh yeah, you've got the ability to tame animals. Level 2, you can do wasteland creatures. Level 3, you can now give commands to them. You know, simple. You half the amount you would need. And I mean, to get charisma up to the level of being able to do stuff, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, as I say, I've rambled on enough. I will be as soon as it lets me actually come on, get at it. Thank you. I will be doing another playthrough soon. I'm just going through the opening sections at the moment here, with this new character who is, well, dressed up like Darth Vader, but isn't actually Darth Vader. That's all I'm using. It's basically heavily modded up the game. Not super heavily, but heavily enough. And then I'll be just basically running through. So I'll be doing that at some other point. But anyway, that's my thoughts on Fallout 3. I may not have covered certain things that other people have found on there, or I may find stuff later. But yeah, it's an alright game. It's alright. It's, the stuff it advertised is good, but it could be better. Just tweaks here and there could have made it so much better. But yeah, anyway, that's, I don't know, it's probably close on an hour of me rambling now. So I'll let you all get on, and yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Until the next video I put out, good night.